if you're having a hard time generating sales, it might not be your sales team or your script. It might be that you have a weak offer. So how do you get a better offer? A better offer is driven by more perceived value by your customers. What does that mean? You only pay the price for something when you think that the value you're going to get is greater than the price you pay. So the greater the value, the higher the price you'll pay. And the higher the connection between these two, the more the perceived value, the higher the price you'll pay. So you want to raise your perceived value as much as possible. Here are 5 strategies for raising your perceived value. Pain. You have to identify an area in the market where there is extreme pain. There needs to be a why for what you're doing. Meaning, there needs to be okay, the market is really depressed here. Businesses are really struggling. They're losing tons of money. People are overworking. You have to identify a specific pain point that makes your offer attractive. This is selling to the starving crowd. If you're selling to the starving crowd, even if your product isn't perfect, because the people are starving, they'll eat it every time. Dream outcome. This is the why behind the psychology of your advertisement. Okay. You have to find, why did that person go into business? Why is my offer legitimate to these people? If I'm advertising, is it because I'm trying to make people more money? Is it because I'm trying to have them live a lifestyle they want to live? What is the reason these people went into business? You're trying to identify that why, and you're hitting on a deeper psychological level than just, hey, here's your problem, this is how I can fix it. You're going, here's your problem, I can fix it, and it can unlock the lifestyle, the clout, whatever that person's looking for, or whatever that market's looking for. That's the real need. You see what I'm saying? And so it takes it a layer deeper. It's very important. This is where the psychology comes into play. 3 is belief. They need to believe that you're credible. This is where, customer testimonials come into place. This is where past case studies and past examples of your work really showcase what you're doing, because they have to believe that you're credible enough to trust with their business. 4, speed. The faster you can make the delivery of your value exponentially, the higher the value of your product. That's why you go to McDonald's. That's why you order things off of Amazon, because the payout is immediate. You need to make it as easy as possible and as quick as possible to see positive value for the customer. 5, risk reversal. This is kind of a hard to understand concept, but it's super important. Risk reversal. You want to lower any reasons they have for saying no. AKA, you want to try to differentiate yourself by lowering the upfront cost or the reasons for saying no to your customers. For example, let's say I have some kind of revenue capturing product or something like that. Instead of selling it with an upfront price, I could price it like, hey, I'll implement this system, I'll implement this website, whatever it is. You won't have to pay me anything, but I will take the payment that this thing receives for the first 14 days, or percentage of that payment that you weren't getting otherwise. And you won't have to pay me again cents or whatever. The whole point of this is you're lowering the reason for saying no. You want them to be as easy as possible to say yes, because it's not costing them anything, but you have to know that your product can deliver, because you're essentially taking all the risk, right? So if you have a product that you know can deliver, absolutely do this. And that's how you increase your perceived value.